Coach, this is the third time you faced Houston this season, and this is the team you've won twice against this season as well. So what are some of the, I guess, minute preparations that you guys are going to have to make?
Yeah, I think sometimes it's a little bit more difficult when you've been the victor, because sometimes you think you don't have to make adjustments. But I definitely think that there were some things in the first two games that we did that we can do better. I think that our kids have some confidence against Houston, which is great because this team needs some confidence right now. But at the same time, it's very difficult to beat a team 3 times. And to be honest, I mean, we've got to go in there and play our game and get back to Lady Raider basketball. I mean, we've got some kids healthy. We've gotten to practice with them a little bit more over the past couple of days. So, I'm excited for this team to be able to get back out on the court again.
And how have your upperclassmen just been helping out the freshmen these past few days? Because the Big 12 tournament, you have to play games within like a day's notice, and sometimes that can't be the easiest thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously we played in a couple of tournaments this year where we had to play back-to-back, and so, I mean, I think as a group they've done a really good job of just trying to prepare and to know that they have a new season ahead of them and that we're in control of our own destiny. So I think that they've done a really good job of leading us and just helping our freshmen along the way.
Coach, this is nobody's home court now, and it's not the USA, and it's not Houston's court or Baylor's court. So what kind of difference will that make for y'all as far as the atmosphere and maybe just kind of focusing in on each game?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the same for everybody, right? I mean, at least it's neutral for everyone. We have done that before. We've played on neutral sites. I think it's the excitement of the Big 12 tournament, of postseason play, and so I think it's just not an opportunity to go out and play again, obviously, and in front of some of our fans that'll travel with us, and just an opportunity to keep playing the game of basketball that they love. And so I don't think we're too worried about where or whenever. We're just glad we get to play again.
Just this past month, aside from caliber of opponent, what have y'all had the biggest, I guess, issues with that during this rut?
Yeah, well, I mean, injuries, right? I mean, we've been extremely shorthanded. We've had illnesses, injuries. I mean, it's been actually kind of an unbelievable season, an unbelievable month, to be quite honest. And it's been hard on these kids, especially with their youth, just trying to push through and understand that, like, it's part of the process and we got to play with what we have. And I thought the kids that we had really gave us all they had. But it has been difficult. It's been a really hard month and a half. And I think that our kids have had to play out of position. We've had to play really small. I mean, all those things. But at the end of the day, I think our kids have gotten tougher, and I think that they have a good mindset going into this tournament.
I was going to say, your shirt says, what, we're strong, we're unbroken.
Yeah.
Is that kind of putting it to the test?
100, right? Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we've talked about all season long about being together, and that together we are stronger. And who knew that even more so than what we've gone through over the past 5 weeks. And this team has never been a team that's only going to have one player that can carry us. We've always had to play together. And as we went through all the adversity, we had to learn to stick together even more because we were down in numbers, down in positions, down in the post, those types of things. So we're just trying to get these kids to believe in one another, to believe in what we're doing, and to understand that together they're much stronger and can do anything they set their minds to.
How has this team grown and evolved, and you've seen maybe someone who wasn't expected to have a role shown a bigger role this time?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's had an opportunity, right? I mean, there's not one kid on our team that hasn't had an opportunity to play and to come in and step up and try to help us in some form or fashion. So I think that piece of it, I think they're all understanding that they had to be ready for when their opportunity presents itself. Secondly, I think that we've gotten stronger together. They really have gelled. They have pushed through a lot of adversity. They've learned a lot about each other and just about how difficult what we're trying to do is. I mean, the Big 12 is hard, but we also have been really talking about choosing our hard, and winning is really hard to do, but losing's hard too. This last 6 weeks has been really hard, and so we need our kids to choose what hard they want, and we'd all much rather choose the heart of trying to figure out how to win in Big 12. So I think that they're just getting tougher. I think they're getting tougher, they're getting more experienced, and they're getting closer.
How has this adversity helped propel you, not only for the postseason, but for next year.
Yeah, well, I don't feel like there's anything that this team hasn't gone through this year. So anything that is thrown at us from this point forward isn't going to be new. And so I think that piece of it is important because it teaches our kids that it didn't kill us, right? And what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So we've just continued to have to get back up, and that's the life lesson they're learning right now is you can get knocked down, but you can't stay down. You got to continue to get up, and I think that they're doing a good job of coming back to practice every day and coming back with a better mindset and coming back more unified, and every day they believe in us a little bit more.
How does the mindset help you when you get players back from injuries and such, and you don't have to have twos playing fours and threes playing fives?
I think everybody's confidence is better, right? I mean, you feel more comfortable. They feel more confident in their role. And maybe a little less pressure. I think that we've had some kids really carry a lot of pressure this season playing out of position. I would say that Bailey has done a great job of trying to help us at the point guard position, but she's carried a lot of pressure on herself, and that's hard to play your game when you feel like you're carrying the weight of the world. I would also say even Jada Wynn playing the post position for us and having guard 5 players. I mean, we're putting Kelly Moore out there playing against Aoka Lee, and they've just gotten a lot of really big challenges that maybe they didn't necessarily expect, but it's certainly going to help them as a whole.
Going into the season, you knew Bailey Maupin was going to have a bigger role, and you're going to expect more of her for sure, but she was also going to be targeted more, and now nearing the end of the season, she has had even bigger role. What's it been like to watch her grow into that and face all of this adversity?
Yeah, that's the conversation we had with her early when we first started moving her to the point guard position, was that this was only going to help grow her game, because clearly she's a terrific scorer. She can really score the basketball, but I really wanted to see her ability to make her teammates better and to distribute the basketball grow, and even her defense. We've really asked her and Jazzi both to step up in a defensive role and be more defensive minded, and I think they've done all those things. It's been hard. It's been difficult challenges, and some nights they do it better than others. But I really feel like they've developed their game as a whole much more.
And with Houston coming up, any way that they've changed their game since the last 2 times y'all have played?
I think they go. They kind of take it upon themselves at times to go more one-on-one and get to the free throw line. When their sets don't work out for them, they're still full court pressing. They're still trying to shoot a lot of threes in transition. They're still really heavy man-to-man, but they really go to the basket and try to get to the free throw line a lot more. So we're going to have to do a good job of guarding our own and not getting in foul trouble.
I think there was a report about Jazzi Jackson entering the transfer portal.
Mm-hmm. She did.
What kind of went into that, and what's your reaction?
She entered the portal. That's all I can say about that. Yep. So we wish her the very best.
Coach, with Houston being new to the conference and you guys kind of having more experience in this tournament, do you feel there's any advantage going into this game?
Say that again.
With Houston being new to the conference and new to the tournament?
Not necessarily. They've played in conference tournaments before. They've played a full slate of conference games this year. So, I think that it's the same as us going into it. We've got a lot of kids that have only played in it once, and so it's just it's a new ball game, and I think everybody has a chance to show what they got.
And then after the Kansas State game, you kind of talked about how going into the tournament, everybody has a clean slate.
Yep.
Do you feel your team has kind of embodied that and understood that as well?
No doubt. Yeah, I think their mindset has been really good. I think they understand that they have another opportunity, such as everybody else does. But I think that they are really focused on trying to play their best basketball and give their very best effort over the next 5 days.
And then some of the girls like Chevalier and Logan Johnson that maybe aren't getting on the stat sheet as much, but are playing such a physical role on defense. Kind of where do you incorporate them in this game when scoring has been a little bit of an issue? Where do you put them when it comes to this game?
Well, we've got to have defense. Obviously, we've got to be able to defend, especially if we're not scoring. So I think that they give us great energy. They give us great on-ball pressure, and we're going to need them to do that against Houston because they are so athletic and can get to the rim. So I think that they'll play a really big role in that. And then I think that also that both of those kids, but particularly Logan, can get back to her scoring ways. She's got to be confident and be able to get to the rim and maybe get herself to the free throw line because she can score the basketball. She probably hit a little bit of a freshman wall there, and it got pretty tough, but I think that she's had a couple of really good practices and is ready to play.
And then will you have the full availability of your team? I know Arike and Merritt kind of just got back and Freeland's still been on the sidelines. Will you have a full roster for the tournament?
We have a full roster except for Kyla. Okay. Kyla Freeland won't be with us. Yeah.
With the emotions of this rut, as you called it, how do you continue to push forward where your heart's like, man, I really want to help lead the Lady Raiders back to where they need to be, but along that saying, look, have realistic expectations.
Yeah, this has been really hard. This is not where I expected our team to be this year. I think that moving into this season, we've definitely felt like this was going to be our best team that we've put on the floor since we've been here, and I still think it is and has been. But we've just run into some brick walls. You've got to control what you can control, and I have to be a really, really good leader and a really good role model for these kids for off the court, for life after basketball. And, if they see me hanging my head, if they see me not, coming to work and giving my very best to them, then they're going to do that same thing and not learn anything from it. So it is what it is. I mean, I've been through it before. You've been through injuries before, maybe not to this caliber and this amount, but you just got to keep getting back up and going to work, and that's what winners do, and that's what we're trying to teach these kids.
Anything else?
Coach, another thing you said after one of the losses was that you and your staff needed to be better. How do you feel you kind of embodied that in this little stretch before Big 12?
Yeah, we've been meeting, obviously, day in and day out, just trying to come up with ways that we can help these kids just pull through. I mean, our heart goes out to them because we want to help them. We want to help them through this, and it's been difficult. But I think that our staff has done a great job over the past 3 or 4 days of really trying to give them the very best shot that they can to be successful on Thursday, and I'm super proud of them for working overdrive, and it's part of the profession, part of the job. But we really put our heart and soul into it, and I'm really proud of what we've put together over the past couple of days.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Coach.
Appreciate y'all.